Ukrainian forces successfully repelled Russian assault in the Kupiansk sector, dealing a significant blow to the enemy's advancing units. The Achilles 429th Separate Unmanned Systems Regiment, in coordination with the Burevy 1st Operational Brigade and the 77th Separate Airmobile Brigade, intercepted and destroyed Russian assault column attempting to break through toward Lozova. According to the regiment's commander, Yuri Fedorenko, the enemy attack began at approximately 6 a.m., led by a tank with engineering trailers, followed by lightly armored vehicles carrying assault troops. However, Ukrainian defenders swiftly detected and engaged the advancing forces, eliminating key vehicles before they could pose a greater threat. As a result of the coordinated defensive operation, Ukrainian forces destroyed Russian tank and 2 infantry fighting vehicles, inflicting both equipment and personnel losses on the enemy. This engagement highlights the effectiveness of Ukraine's integrated defense tactics and the critical role of unmanned systems in modern warfare. Meanwhile, the Russian military has once again deployed North Korean soldiers to Kursk region, despite previously withdrawing them due to significant casualties. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky revealed this information during his evening address on February 7th, following a meeting with the staff of the Supreme Commander-in-Chief. There have been new assaults in the Kursk operation areas. The Russian army has redeployed North Korean soldiers. A significant number of occupiers have been eliminated. Hundreds of Russian and North Korean troops. And this is very important. The fighting is taking place on Russian territory, preventing further escalation against our cities, Volodymyr Zelensky stated. Approximately 60,000 Russian and Allied troops are currently engaged in combat against Ukrainian forces in Kursk region. This concentration of enemy forces, he noted, has prevented reinforcements from being sent to other critical fronts, such as Pokrovsk in Donetsk region. That's 60,000 troops that have not reinforced the already considerable enemy forces in Pokrovsk or other areas of our Donetsk region. I am grateful to all our soldiers for their resilience, to every brigade for their results, Volodymyr Zelensky added. Not only that, a video posted to social media channels by Ukraine's army shows the dramatic moment a North Korean armored personnel carrier, APC, was obliterated in a lethal drone strike. In the latest video from the battlefield, 2 North Korean APCs can be seen trying to move along a road running parallel to a river. One of the vehicles is picked out by Ukrainian drone operators before being hit with a precision strike. A huge ball of flames engulfs the armored vehicle before it disappears under a thick cloud of billowing black smoke. Earlier, Ukrainian drones were watching the whole time as a lone Russian BTR-82 wheeled fighting vehicle raced across the shell-pocked no man's land in broad daylight outside Pokrovsk recently. Firing its autocannon as it moved, the vehicle succeeded in reaching the ruins of a building. The 11 Russian infantry packed surely didn't know the drones were waiting directly overhead. They didn't know, as they piled out of the vehicle, they had seconds to live. The drones from the Ukrainian 5th Assault Brigade dropped bombs on the hapless infantry, killing all 11. The small, unsupported, and doomed assault is indicative of wider trends across the 800-mile front line of Russia's wider war on Ukraine as the conflict grinds into its 36th month. Attacks might last a few minutes before most or all of the attackers are dead or wounded. Many Russian recruits die within days of deploying to the front line. A guy had 20 minutes at the front, one Russian defector told media, including the Moscow Times and Radio Free Europe. A first-person view drone flew at him with a TNT block, That was it. They turn you to dust straight away. In the busiest sectors, there are 5 Ukrainian drones for every Russian soldier, the defector said. The Ukrainians' overwhelming drone advantage doesn't mean they're winning the war, but it might be preventing them from losing as Russia continues mobilizing more soldiers and marching them into battle with less and less support. The lucky Russians ride in the dwindling number of armored vehicles. The unlucky ones ride in compact cars, or walk. The Russians are still advancing, but every yard they capture costs them dearly. Russian war correspondent Roma Sapozhnikov expressed dismay recently when he learned that many recruits survive just a week after signing their contracts. Just 8 days from signing to death, Sapozhnikov wrote. According to General Oleksandr Syrsky, the top Ukrainian commander, Russia suffered 434,000 casualties, including 150,000 dead in 2024. That's more killed and injured Russian troops than in the previous 2 years combined. Total Russian casualties since February 2022 could be close to 800,000. Ukrainian losses since early 2022 are much lower: 43,000 killed and 370,000 injured, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said in December. In the best defended sectors, the Ukrainians kill 7 Russians for every Ukrainian soldier the Russians kill, the defector claimed. Russian assault groups are practically suicide bombers, according to the defector. On average, he said, just 1 out of 5 infantry survive an assault. In that sense, the 11-person squad the Ukrainian 5th Assault Battalion massacred outside Pokrovsk recently was only slightly less lucky than the typical Russian squad. How long the Kremlin can sustain such a costly war effort is a question only the Kremlin, and Russian society at large, can answer. But the answer isn't indefinitely.